Hey, I'm Ted Rubin with Active Engage, and I'm here with George Nenni, the resident expert for sure on all things Google Analytics and anything that has to do with website analytics. So thanks for coming by. I appreciate you stopping in to kind of give us an update on what you're seeing and how things are going at the show and some of the new stuff that you're seeing that's available within analytics, on websites.
Yeah, sure. We appreciate having the conversation. We have a number of mutual customers, and you guys have always done a great job supporting us with Google Analytics 4 and the events firing. And so it's always a pleasure just to hear what's new, see your booth, and chat.
Yeah, thanks. No, we really appreciate it. We're working really hard to try to make sure that we make all of the information available, so that dealers can manage all of this analytics and use it to their best benefit, all throughout the chat process and things that are transpiring on the website as well. So, what have you seen that's going on, either here or just in general? Like, what advantages are dealers able to take? From what
I think in many ways dealers are just trying to get back to the basics. I think pre-COVID, sales teams really knew a lot about following up on leads and really working that sales channel. During COVID, of course, people just showed up with checks, and so a lot of salespeople that were hired during the pandemic and after may not have those skills. And so I think dealers are looking for tools that will help them be able to work leads better, to be able to follow up on leads, to be able to deal with phone calls, deal with chats, and just give their teams the right tools and the right training to be able to be more effective at working active leads.
Right. No, absolutely. And so do you find that a lot of dealers are looking to take advantage of this kind of information that's now, I think that especially as we moved into the G4 analytics piece, there's so much more that you can do to be able to offer the dealer analytics and data to modify their interactions, with the customers as they move forward. So are dealers, taking advantage of those things in a lot of ways, or?
Yeah, I think the smart ones are. The smart ones are really, doubling down on training for their sales teams to really work the process. But also, a lot of digital marketing traffic ends up chatting, right? Especially for us, Facebook campaigns. So when dealers run Facebook campaigns, they generate a lot of phone calls and a lot of chat interactions. And so making sure that we're first tracking those chat interactions, but also making sure that the dealers have tools to be able to monitor the quality of those, how well are their agents doing, with moving people through the pipeline, and really just focusing on those conversations, looking at those conversations in the CRM, and training reps on how to just be more effective.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to be able to kind of pull apart all of those pieces of data to be able to understand how customers are navigating through the site and what events or other things that are happening as they're transpiring or kind of matriculating through the site, to understand how to offer things to the customer or what their interest is, like where is their interest really lie, what's motivating them to do the things that are moving them through the sales funnel.
Right.
And so without kind of taking that whole thing apart to be able to look at what's actually going on, as we've seen the Google Analytics kind of evolve to be able to really compartmentalize significant pieces of this, and then the way that you're looking at being able, as we were just talking beforehand, that you can kind of take every little small piece of this, make sure that you're looking at a consistent visit, but then kind of pull apart all the pieces of what a customer is doing and all the events that fire on that is really valuable, right?
Yeah. So we definitely love all those different data points. And with Google Analytics 4, the ability for dealers to really drill down into their conversions, because with the Automotive Standard Council events, the ASC events, you have the ability to embed every event with 35 pieces of additional information, and those include VIN number, stock number, year, make, model, first seen date of the vehicle, right? So now instead of looking at all the number of chat interactions you've had in the month, you can look at it and say, show me my chat interactions on vehicles over 30 days, over 90 days, and so on. So you can really slice and dice it better. And so again, we love that you guys support that standard and pass all that data through there, because it's additional signals for the dealers that helps them make decisions on their marketing investments.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important piece, right? Ultimately the dealers too are trying to give the customer the experience that they're looking for, right? So the more that customers are empowered to kind of feel like they can have control and get the information that they want as they're navigating through any site,
Right.
Especially the dealer site, then they get more tied to that dealer. But the dealers have to know what customers are looking for and how they navigate and where they go from point to point. And dealers need to understand what keeps them on the site or what produces a more direct interaction like a chat or a text or even digital retailing and other things like that, how they migrate to different things. So what pathway through the site or what events that need to follow to get the customer to get that feeling like, okay, I want to be here or I want to stay on this site. I'm now ready to talk to someone about getting more information or moving through that process. We always feel that, from a messaging standpoint on the site, that again, as we were talking about earlier, that the interaction when someone kind of goes to engage, the reason is to build the relationship with the customer. So that's the things that we're seeing that is big impactful for them. But there's a lot of other things that as they navigate through the site, they do want to get information and they do want to navigate. A lot of times, especially with digital retailing, they want to be able to move further through the funnel. And so understanding that process and understanding what the customer navigation is and what's important to them and when they kind of leave something, what makes them interact. That's all coming from the kind of work that you're doing and helping dealers understand.
Yep. Tons of important data in those conversations. You're right. And I'm sure the best dealers, the best performers are obsessing on training all their agents to make sure that they study those interactions. They know, they know how to properly respond and how to close for the appointment or whatever they're trying to accomplish. And then that management is occasionally looking in over those and being able to look at those conversations and measure the quality and then coaching those reps to have more success.
Yeah, they can't really get there unless they understand how to evolve the way that, even if they're not chatting or texting, then they're communicating, right? They're coming to the website and they're trying to figure out what it is they're going to do. Do they have what I want? Do they have the assets and things like that at the dealership that I'm looking for? So they do navigate around the dealership websites and kind of determine, do I want to take the next step? Do I want to call someone? Do I want to chat with someone? Do I want to send an email, fill out a form? Do I want to find out more information about different offers and things like that are happening? And the way that you're looking at all the data behind that is showing, well, this is what triggers any of these things or all of these things. And measuring to determine what can I do to specifically trigger this for this type of customer at this particular moment in time. And I think that's, we want to always meet up with all of those things, understand that even from what we're getting from you too, so that we can evolve products and tools that can make it so that customers are more apt to engage.
Right.
That's the key, right? Because we don't even get to do anything unless they get engaged. So we have to be looking at the same things, the same set of data that you're looking at and the way that you're analyzing the information to help us determine, we need this kind of a tool to get a customer to engage for this purpose, or we need this kind of asset at this point in time to be able to customer to engage for a different reason. Because there's all kinds of reasons that customers will determine that they want to have a conversation or further their process more directly with the dealer at hand, right?
You're right. I mean, you need to have those different opportunities for people that want to phone call, want to chat, want to fill out forms. But the data overwhelmingly shows that lead forms, for dealers tend to be filled out less year over year.
Right.
Young people tend to gravitate toward chat and phone calls.
Right.
One of my sons recently bought a car and he shopped 3 or 4 dealers, and it was interesting afterwards. He said, Dad, I never filled out a lead form. All I did was chat and have phone calls. Right. I just think there's a lot of that out there, and it probably will become increasingly the trend.
Yeah, we're seeing, on our side, we're seeing that, even as they migrate to a lot of the lead form form fill pieces, that we can put chat behind it, and we're getting, it's probably a similar amount of interaction with it, but the conversion to a sale is much more significant than a form fill. When we get to have like a human-to-human interaction where it's different than just filling out a form, or it's different than having an automated interaction in some way where we're actually trying to create that relationship based on the fact that, well, I said, you have a customer who's there. You have a customer who's saying, okay, I do want to know more about this. I'm going to fill out this form because that's historically what they're used to doing to be able to get that data. And when you show them that, oh, I can have this interaction for this particular purpose and you can get the information real time, then not only do they engage in that process, but that converts to an actual sale much more commonly than getting it
Makes sense,
out of the form fills. Well, I really appreciate you coming by.
I wouldn't miss it.
I love talking to you guys about this because it's one of the most important things to being able to understand what's happening on your website and if you're being effective in the way that you're treating the customer and what you're presenting to them, because it's all based on numbers. It's all based on the statistics. If you're not looking at that, then you're really just putting up a billboard and ignoring it because it may be on a terrible street and no one's seeing it, and you feel good just because you have a website. It's the wrong way to go, right?
Right, yeah. Well, thank you for all you do for our mutual customers, and keep up the great work.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Yep. Thanks very much.